Where's that raid? Alright. E. I'll be starting in a minute, don't worry. Yep. Give me a moment. Let me open up stream on my Chromebook. Let me open up settings real quick. Where the fuck is it? struggling trying to find some. Where is it? Oh, there you go. Hey, I found it. Finally.
With your hosts, Wicked Wade, Marvelous Mark, and Bodacious Bob. This week, the tittering tripartite elucidate one of life's many conundrums, the existence and acts of Startus Haydos. To you or I, that's stupid, kids. Please prepare for snot bubbles of mirth and enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to Distractable, the podcast where we talk about whatever we want to talk about, whenever we want to talk about it. And, that's not the intro. What are you talking about?
Okay. That could be the intro. What's wrong with that intro?
Welcome to Smartless, everyone. Welcome to Smartless.
Welcome to literally any other podcast but our podcast here. We talk about certain subjects of which I will bring the topic up in a few moments here, but something about points, I literally have forgotten.
You alright, man?
Jesus Christ. We talk about certain subjects, and then we discuss them. And these two fine gentlemen that I'm joined with this week, maybe not next week, we don't know. We might have other people rotating in and out, are Bob and Wade. How are you guys doing today?
Well, concerned now. That's news to me. When I'm the host, you'll always win from here on out, buddy.
By
Don't
one of
worry.
Sabathun's toughest
Oh,
warriors.
good. That's 10.
Guarding something.
Just don't fire me,
You can
please.
use
Don't
like you
fire
use
me
to
from
gear
your
a shell.
podcast, sir.
But the only way in is through your whole canals, which means we need a
It's got
boat.
my name
Leave
on
that
it.
part
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah, something like that. If you rearrange the letters of Distractable, you'll get Tricktable.
Which we all know is Mark's actual name. Trickstable.
I beat this rat. Anyway,
That's
I'd
our
like to give a
guy,
shout out
the one
to,
guarding the temple.
people that have established
What's he doing away from his
the
post?
subreddit. There's
Give
only
me
a few hundred
chance.
people right there right now, but if you are listening to this and want to join the subreddit, you can do so because the people there are already attempting to be funny, so you can lend your funniness to them and make us laugh at jokes about the things that we talk about on the podcast. We would greatly appreciate it. We won't link it because you're listening to us on the podcast, and we can't link anything if you can't. You gotta find it for yourself. Good luck.
Is that thing where you spell it? Reddit.com/Lars. Holy fuck. Reddit.com/Lars.
Your mocking of me fell apart at the seams.
Yikes. I shouldn't go for it. I can't do it. I can't do it on purpose when I need to. So maybe I won't do it then.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
The subreddit's on Reddit, right? I mean, that one I just heard.
Yeah,
Sure.
r/distractable on Reddit.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Okay. Yeah, so everyone listening at home, go to Reddit. If you don't know where Reddit is, probably stay away from it because it will suck you in. It's pretty much not worth it. I have to burp, but it's not burping.
Burp yourself.
Yeah, I can't. How?
Pat your chest.
It's not working.
Harder.
It's not working.
Harder.
It's just making more carbonation appear in my stomach.
Harder.
How?
What do you mean how? More force. Get more muscles.
God.
Yeah, come on.
Agony, this is the worst intro to an episode.
You know what you
we've
need
ever
to do?
had.
You need to jump
Look,
up and down.
back there.
That'll help.
The
Jump
path
up
is
and down.
unblocked.
Bob, do you think we should stop letting him win after how horrible this has been?
Yeah, Mark, this is why you never win. Because you can't
Oh
host to
God,
save your life.
I'm gonna throw up. I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
Jump up and down, it'll save your life. Or do some somersaults.
This is terrible advice.
What about a cartwheel? I know you can cartwheel.
13.75 jumping jacks.
Oh God.
It'll come out eventually. I'm just trying to accelerate the process of it coming out.
Alright, I'm gonna jump up and down, I guess.
I'm Amy or someone beat you in the back with a broom.
I can't hear you guys. No, I took off my headphones.
Good. I'm excited.
Oh, God.
Do it.
You're right.
Yes.
You just hop on and I'll handle the
If
rest.
we hear him vomit, I might actually have to leave for a minute.
Not helping, it's forcing it down!
Relax. Relax your muscles.
Live controls. I mean, how does this... Ah! There it is. Here we
What the
go.
fuck?
Boat's moving.
No.
Oh.
Did you relax your muscles while you were doing it? Because that's really...
Alright, relax your muscles when you're jumping.
Just, you gotta deep breath and then jump. Only engage your legs. Let your core flop around.
Yeah. So, kind of like a fish out of water in the top half, and the bottom half you just jump.
I'm gonna not do any of that. No, I actually feel awful.
We fix it?
I feel 100% terrible.
Alright, well, we help.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Anyway, dude, I genuinely feel terrible. Okay,
So, take 2 of that intro.
alright, take 2. Yeah, let's just...
Finch?
get up.
Why did we stop?
This is Distractable, where we,
I don't know. Didn't expect this.
talk about conversations.
Just a little hiccup.
Would you guys like
You
to
can
know
get
the
that barrier
topic for
down,
this
right?
week's episode?
Sure you can.
Yeah, usually.
Alright, so the topic is kids are stupid. I really want to touch on ideas and stories from either your childhoods or you witnessing terribly stupid kids. We all know that kids are dumb. My childhood is filled with horribly terrible decisions that I have made as a child and as almost not a child.
What
Because
age limit do
Hey,
you
you
have?
did it. Good job.
11 and
What's on the
below.
movie?
Okay, let's get out of teenage years.
Wanted to be clear.
No teen, no preteen, 11 and below.
It does eliminate a lot of dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Apparently a lot of my dumb behavior was in my teenage years.
If you guys need time to think about it, I can do a little mini story that I have from my childhood.
Yeah, did you have one that inspired this?
Oh yeah, when I was a kid, I've but I'm focusing on the things where I almost killed other people. Because that is a strangely common thing when you're a child. You just put other children in horribly dangerous situations or yourself. It's either you're about to die or some other kid is about to die. So me and my brother would like to go on a wood run. And one time we go out there with a saw because we saw this vine on the street and we went down and we're going to swing on it. We love swinging on vine. So we get out there, cut down this vine, we unwrap it from the tree, tug on it. That's good. Yeah, that's definitely stuff. And this other kid was walking through the woods as well. We knew them because we often was together and there were kids from all the different like just wandered the woods, which nowadays seems weird, but like that's just such a cherished childhood I had. So this kid came over, and what me and my brother saw was a perfect test subject for the vine. And the problem
Finch,
with this
we're
vine,
stuck
or what
again.
made it so great, was
Seriously,
that it
but
opened up over this
I did the thing. It's just this hive tech. It's so archaic.
It looked like a
Just give me a sec.
just a bunch of thorn bushes. So we talked to this kid over here, and we're like, hey, check out this vine that we just cut. And I remember the kid asked, oh, did you swing on it already? And me and my brother went, yeah, of course. Of course we did. Your turn. Go ahead. And so this kid, he swung out on the vine. And he did
Okay,
great.
we're getting
It was
close to
great.
the swamp
And,
now.
he came back
Temple's
and
not
said,
far
"Oh,
from
awesome."
here.
And we were like,
You
"Oh,
said
this is
this
so
is a
great. It
temple
works
to
perfectly.
Oryx?
Everything's good." And then
Yeah,
he goes again.
that's right.
He just gets a
Sabathoon's
running start on
brother.
it, way back, swings
Taken
hard,
King
and swings
himself.
super far out.
These two killed
and
each
like
other
at
about
the
a million
apex
times
of his
over,
swing,
but she
the
dedicated a
vine
temple to
snaps,
him.
and he just plummets right
Funny how that
into the
works.
thorn bushes.
Now
And
be
we just,
careful
we just
here.
hear him like hit.
Something
you
happened
know,
to this
you know,
place.
like
It's
how
overgrown with
kids
darkness.
sometimes squeak
I
when
can
they
sense
get
light here, though.
God.
You just can't see it.
Just remember hearing
Maybe
it
there's a safe path through.
like a squeaky toy.
Oh no.
The kid, we hear him like start crying in the bush because he doesn't know whether to move to get out of it or like because every time he's moving it hurts. And to us it looks like he just went into like the jaws of like spinning blades of death. I'm sure that like child's brain made this much more distorted. He like managed to find his way out, like he's crying, trying to crawl out, and then he just like gets out of the bushes and you see like thorns sticking out all over him. He's got like little trails of blood running down. He's like, I'm gonna go home now. Okay, bye. And so me and my brother thought we were in so much trouble that we decided to bury the saw because we didn't want anyone thinking there's a saw buried by a tree in the woods, like by my childhood home. If anyone finds it, you know what happened there. Can't tell the soul. So that's a little bitty story.
The burying of the saw is concerning. That's a very murdery thing.
Yeah, man, I don't know. We were kids. We didn't know what to do. We thought we were in trouble. Best to hide the evidence.
Fair, I guess, but like, damn.
I think the kid survived.
The squeak is a very
Looks like we're all clear,
thing.
Finch. We're heading in.
Careful.
I'm pretty sure I
Knight
do
guarding
a lot
this
of
place?
squeaks.
He's an old rival of Oryx, and he's no joke. Pretty funny that Savathun has him guarding Oryx's temple, though.
So when me and my brother apartment complex has a lake outside. Middle of it, so the lake is kind of frozen. Oh hell yeah! So me and my brother were like testing the weight, and it's holding really well. The only problem is in the center. We definitely see that the center is not frozen. So stay away from the center. But over time, as we're playing, we get a little close. And this other kid comes over, and he's like, "Hey, you guys playing out there?" And we're like, "Yeah, come on, it's safe." And so he comes out, and he's playing, and it's fine at first, and then he asks us like if it's safe to the hole in the center, and we're like, "Yeah, it's good, man, definitely good." So the kid goes near the center, and he doesn't go even close, but he gets like kind of close, and he just falls right through, right? And so it's kind of like the squeaks thing again, because you just hear him go like, "Pop!" And then he's down beneath the water. But he comes right back out. Me and my brother do nothing to go near him. He comes back out, and he comes out of the water. And I know this seems like we're absolutely terrible, but remember, we're kids. And he crawls out, and me and my brother are just like, we're looking down the ground as if the ice is going to break beneath our feet at any moment. Like there's going to be that huge, like, glacial crack in the ice that's going to chase right to our legs, and then we're going to look at each other and go, "Ah!" And he comes out, and he's just dripping water. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm going to go home now." Like, in a very... It might have been the same kid from the farm, which I'd like to think this is the same guy.
Every time anything stupid had to happen, that kid would come around.
And you and your brother looked at each other, and you were like, "You know what we have to do?" And you started digging a child-sized hole, and you were like, "Just lay down, just lay down." And he was like, "Oh, okay, I'll just lay down and warm me up." And buried the kid and never went back. I know how it goes.
The funniest thing was, like, he walks away, and, like, this guy apparently had been watching us from his balcony. This, like, old man was just like, "Hey, you shouldn't play on the ice." And then me and my brother were just like, "Oh, okay."
As you're leaving, you and your brother just like, "Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Really saved us."
Appreciate it. So anyway, sorry, didn't mean to dominate the opening episode, but just wanted to give you time to percolate.
Those paint a really interesting picture of you and your brother being like those like these other children to their death. Like you're doing something that looks fun, and some kid shows up and is like, hey, is this safe?" And you and Tom are just like, "Yeah, come on, look, we're doing it."
Yeah.
And you just stand there watching, just like.
Well, I mean, you gotta understand, like, me and my brother's childhood was the same thing, just doing it each other. Like, it was always the same. That's how we had that how far up the stairs can you jump off contest. That's how I broke my arm, because it was like, we were on the monkey bars, and there were other kids there. It just so happened to be my day to fall to the ice, when it was how far out the monkey bars can you jump and grab a rung, and I fell and broke my arm. It was just like, you know, every kid takes his turn. You never know who's going to be the one squeaking on the ground when they hit.
I think I actually never had like a severe injury as a kid. And kids are pretty bouncy, but like I probably should have. But I don't think I ever actually broke my bone. I don't think so.
I think I might have broken my toe with a doll. Pinky toe or something. But I never broke like a bone or a cast or anything. I think it's stitches. Both of them like back.
I think you assume a lot about what all kids do, Mark.
No, but every kid is dumb and gets in trouble or gets hurt in some way. Like, you know, I'm looking for these kinds of stories. It doesn't have to be you guys.
I can think of like a dumb thing my brother did, and I can think of like a dumb thing I did, but they weren't like necessarily super dangerous.
Well, it doesn't have to be super dangerous. The topic is kids are stupid. You can get anything. If you have your stories, I'm ready to hear the titles. I award 1,000 points to myself for my incredible story.
The problem is they're both really short tales. Like, they're not very long.
Sounds like a bunch of excuses. Bob, what do you got?
I'm in the same situation. I have a couple stories in mind. None of them is like particularly a whole story, but I do have a thing about a dirt bike track that I feel like is promising. I think I'm going to lead with that.
If you want to just make this an entire episode of us sharing stupid stories that are random snippets, because none of my stories are like long either, let's just do that, you know?
Yeah.
Probably. I've got like, what, Picture Day
Picture Day.
and The Enemy's Treehouse.
And the enemy's treehouse. Oh, those are good. You know what? Let's just forget the titles. You know, these stories are so
Well,
short.
all right.
Let's-
Well, I came up with one, but all right.
Oh, since you did it, no, I've got titles. Don't leave me out on the points. I've
Alright,
got
okay.
the Hurt in the Woods and Yard Darts Should Not Exist.
I want to hear yard darts because I just
Yeah, I
have
kinda
a
wanna
feeling
hear yard
that's
darts,
different.
too.
All right, 5 points.
All right.
All right, let's hear about yard darts.
All right, so I grew up in the same house for basically most of my childhood. We moved there when I was like 4 years old, and I grew up in the same neighborhood. And so I sort of, you know how you get to sort of know the people in your neighborhood? Most of the guys in my neighborhood were bad. Were like not good friends to me. They were all like football players and basketball players, and I was a jock at that point. I mean, I wasn't really. I was always a nerdy little kid. But I played sports, so I kind of knew them from, like, football or whatever, basketball, soccer, when I was a kid. But so behind my house, there's, like, a cul-de-sac that curved around. So basically there's another street behind my house. The neighbor directly behind me was a kid in my grade. And then across from his house is another kid that was like a
We
year or two
received
younger
limited
than us.
intel
And they
regarding
were-
the Vex
I don't know if,
Information
like,
Depot.
bullies is completely
I want
the
you to
right
get
word.
in there and figure out
They
what
were
they know.
essentially like my bullies.
Greetings,
But
Captain.
also,
Commander
as a
Zavala
kid,
has
you can't
requested
really
that
go
I
anywhere.
run tactical
So they were
on
like
this
the
mission.
main friends I had.
Please
to hang
allow
out
me
with
to
at
help
that
you
point.
with your
So
invasion
to anyone
of
out
the
there
Inside Terminus.
doesn't know what yard darts are.
Oh,
so
hello,
people our
Failsafe.
age and older
What
probably
can you
do,
tell
but
us
I don't
about
know
this
if they
terminus?
exist anymore.
I have not
It's
detected
like a
significant
backyard
Vex activity
game.
in that area
cornhole
since
or
shortly
like
after
that
the
thing where you
Exodus
smack
flag
the ball
arrived.
on the little trampoline and it
Well, that's good
shoots around
news.
like crazy. I don't know.
Maybe
what it's
we
called.
won't
It's like
run
a
into much
backyard game, right?
resistance.
It's meant for like fun, casual,
Yeah,
hanging
but
out.
since
play
death
things.
kind of
Yard
follows you
darts
around,
were
I
very
wouldn't count
heavy,
on that.
very large versions
Positive
of the
as
kind
ever,
of
I
dart that
see.
you sort of like a dartboard.
Yeah.
They weighed maybe a few pounds, and they had metal pointed tips on them. The idea being, you set up like two areas kind of far apart that are basically the targets, and then you toss the yard dart through the air, and it gently arcs and sticks in the grass. You know, it lands point down and sticks up, and you can see, and you get some points or something. It's a very simple sounding game.
Yeah.
But I feel like, just from that description, can you tell why something that weighs 3 pounds and has a metal pointed tip and is meant to be thrown probably shouldn't exist around 6 to 10-year-old boys?
Yeah, I can kind of put two and two together, and apparently that they were banned by Consumer Product Safety Commission in 1988.
Yeah, well, they're incredibly fucking dangerous.
Yeah, looking at the pictures of them, they look dangerous.
Even adults who are doing it safely, you could get a yard dart through your foot if you're playing in sandals and someone hucks one, you know, a little too far. It's so dangerous.
They are literally responsible for the deaths of children, which is why they got banned.
Yeah, exactly. Fun game. Arrows that you throw. It's great. Throw them hard, kids. Up in the air.
Big, heavy arrows you throw towards other people. Super fun.
I'll catch it with my teeth. Ah.
Yeah.
Just imagine cornhole, but with like spiked cannonballs. It's like, yeah. Got it.
So anyway, that existed, and the neighbor who was probably the most, like, sort of bully to me, he's not a nice guy, and he treated me really poorly, but we hung out all the time. He owned the yard darts, and also, since we're all football players, there's this game that football players, and a lot of people, I guess, probably are familiar with, called, like, 500, or other names of it, where a group of kids stand together, and one person is, like, they have the ball, and you throw the ball up in the air, and you say, like, 100 points! And whoever catches it gets 100 points. and the first person out of the herd of children to get to 500 points then becomes the thrower, right?
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of rules. You can make it dead or
I'm
alive.
making
so
the
it's
elimination
like,
of
ooh, even if
carbon
it hits the
your
ground, you
priority
still
in
get the
this
points. So
operation.
it's a dead scramble,
His
and everybody
crew has
elbows
been
each other.
active all
Well,
over
so
the
imagine
system.
that game.
From our intel, he's
Mixed.
mostly targeting Vex installations. However, removing him can only strengthen our position. Put him
With
down.
like the yard dart game, except the only reward is you live. If you don't get hit by the dart, you live.
That's motivating.
And that's it. And so whoever is the biggest piece of shit takes a yard dart, and whoever is the dumb idiots who hang around with their bullies all the time group up at the other end of the yard, and the bully is like, all right, don't move till I throw it. It's not fun unless it's dangerous.
All right.
You gotta stay
What's the
closer
bad
together,
news?
closer, smaller target.
has almost
And like
complete
literally,
control over the
this
Vex
kid would
Gate
just
network.
throw yard darts
I
at us.
predict
And
several
I think I got
detachments of
hit
Cabal
once
over the next few minutes.
on like the calf. It was like a
Wonderful.
glancing blow, but it still made a big gash on my calf.
Yeah.
But that's just like the dumbest thing. One, who would do like that kid if he had hit one of us in the
There's
head
got to
throwing
be a
the
way to
yard
get
darts?
through here.
He's a murderer.
Failsafe.
He is an
Any ideas?
8-year-old
I
murderer.
believe Centurions will possess the means
And he has
to remove
absolutely
the
no
Vex
concern
lock
for that.
and
But
grant
like
you
all of us were
ingress.
participating, I heard him be like, all right, what we're going to do is we're going to play 500, but I'm going to use these yard darts. And you guys just get out of the way, right? Just don't let it hit you. And I heard that, and I'm like, all right. And continued to do multiple times. We played that more than once.
Oh my god.
Anyway, I should be dead. And kids are terrifying.
No,
All right.
no,
We
man,
need
that just
one more.
reminds me of
Keep
all
an
the
eye out
different,
for
like,
another
childhood
Cabal drop for
toys that are
Centurion.
now banned just because they were too incredibly dangerous. Like I'm looking up some of these, like the old. I don't know if they do these anymore. You know, there's like you make candy in like this big science lab type of things, and like the candy was like this gummy stuff that you flow through test tubes and all this shit. And apparently it was horrific choking hazards.
That actually makes me physically gag.
I mean, the candy was fucking awful.
No,
Like,
I know.
Like, they were,
I remember.
and it's just like a kid can't differentiate between what's a toy and what's a piece of equipment and like the the crafting of said candy.
Oh, God.
my god. I'm just looking at some of the toys recently that were banned. Like there's Avengers, like Black Panther claws with like actually sharp claws. So of course a
no.
kid put his hand in it and just fucking tore up the other kid. Oh my god.
I don't feel like this is that dangerous, but my favorite toy that I believe has been banned. You remember Sky Dancers? They're like little fairy ballerina figurines, and it's kind of like a Beyblade, except it flies instead of being on the ground. It starts on a thing, and you pull the cord, and it spins and flies like a little helicopter.
Yeah, of course.
Except they get sucked into wherever the air currents are going, and if there's a fire, the air is being drawn to the fire and then up and out the chimney.
Yeah.
So if you do them in like a room with a fireplace that's on, it just gets sucked into the fire, and kids are chasing their new Sky Dancer toy into the fire.
Yeah.
There's that like classic meme of the girl. It's like Christmas. There's a Christmas tree, and she has the obviously new toy and launches it first time, and it just goes right into the fire, like 2 seconds, and she's just like, no.
Oh my god, there was a toy called the Clackers. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but I vaguely remember this being in like random like daycares or shit. It's like this kind of thing that you just two plastic balls and you just like slap them together and they go clack 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 clack.
There's Kargan.
You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So apparently in the 60s and the 70s, they weren't just like plastic. They were made of acrylic, and they were just on 2 strings. And so you clack them together, and at some point the acrylic could explode, and it would send jagged shards of acrylic surging into people's eyes. And like, oh my god. And what fun clacking 2 balls together. Oh boy. Oh, slap bracelets!
Oh, dude.
Oh, I remember those, yeah.
Slap bracelets aren't dangerous. Those are awesome.
Yeah, but like people slap so much the metal gets exposed, so it's just a sharp metal edge inside.
A razor you're meant to slap on your own wrist all the time.
Easy Bake Ovens went through a couple, I don't know if those are still a thing, but people get their fingers, kids got their fingers stuck in the door, and
Firewall
they had to
in
replace
place.
it with like a thing
That
with
should
a grate,
slow them
and that
down.
still cause more problems.
Oh, definitely, I believe. Yeah.
I just looked this up. Apparently there was a toy called Atomic Energy Laboratory that contained actual traces of radioactive elements.
God.
A lab set released by the A.C. Gilbert Company in 1950 intended to create a kit so that children could create and watch chemical reactions get inspired to pursue careers in science. but the kit had to be pulled in 1951 as it actually contained samples of uranium.
Whoops. Hey, you got something we can put in this kit that glows? Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah, you have some uranium. Here, kids.
I know just the thing.
Dude, I had a bunch of these. I didn't know the Burger King Pokemon balls were banned. Those were good, man.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the radioactive kit. Like, I played with this all the time.
No. But magnetics, man. Magnetics were banned. No, I love magnetics.
Magnetics? Oh, no.
It's like, you've seen those? It's kind of like building block, kind of like erector set. It's like panels with magnets on the corners, and then you connect them together with little balls, like little bearings.
Right.
And you build.
No. There's a big freaking problem. Kids will eat anything, like literally anything. And that was the problem with like water beads, you know, things that just like absorb water and sure bigger.
That will explode your stomach.
Yeah, exactly. Kids eat them, and it's just like fucking. I mean, an 8-month-old ate them
Second
and had to get
protocol in
surgery
place.
because
He's
they just
getting
kind of
faster.
swell up big with water, and you have water in you.
I didn't know about this one, but in 2007, I guess Hannah Montana had a card game come out, and the card game was pumped full of lead. It had 75 times the same amount of lead in the card game.
Well, I would assume that would be zero, so it's impressive. They got 75 times zero amount of lead.
40 parts per million is, I guess, the amount you cannot have more than. So it was 75 times 40 parts per million.
God, I don't know why that's so funny.
Location
Hannah
secured,
Montana came out with a
Commander
card game. 14 children died. Like, just
What
like,
intel?
Jesus Christ. The jump from one to another.
There's only one data artifact here, labeled
I've never
Oxa,
seen this.
and it's
This is
seriously
amazing.
corrupted.
Have you guys seen
Metadata
tight
says it
tubes
was
yet?
last
No.
accessed by an
Tight
Oxa
tubes?
It's like an inner
centuries ago.
tube that's designed to be pulled behind a
What
boat,
is
which
Oxa?
normally it sits
And
on
who
the
is
water, you
Oxot?
sit on top of the tube, you pull it with the boat.
Those are
Super
questions for
fun.
another day,
This
I
is one of those
suppose.
that's designed
But for
to
now-
generate aerodynamic lift.
Well done.
Oh, no.
And it would just go like 10, 20 feet in the air, but you're not strapped into that. You sit on top of those and hold onto a handle.
Holy shit.
So you just have your kid up on a tube 20 feet in the air above water going 20 miles an hour, then they slam down.
Oh, they don't just drop it, probably just whips them straight into the water. Like just, oh my god, 3 people died. Oh my god.
Oh, no.
I mean, honestly though, I kind of want to try it. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, it looks fun, but it does look incredibly dangerous.
Yeah, quote, it just all depends on the conditions. It's okay, but you've got to be careful.
Fucking ads. This is an ad I can't even pause.
Google Career Certificates provide online job training that's fast and flexible.
Heck off.
Learn at your own pace.
All depends on the conditions. It's okay, but you've got to be careful.
Anyway, lawn darts are terrifying, and kids are morons. And
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm alive. But I did it. I survived lawn darts.
Good God.
This Gilbert company had another dangerous product where you could blow glass, which had to be at 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit to blow. Here, have some uranium and molten glass, children.
Gilbert.
Wait, I'm seeing another
God, Gilbert is aperture science of the 1950s.
Another Gilbert Caster Kit Jr. casting lead figures. You create molten lead and then pour it into cast to cast figurines out of lead. What the hell, man?
Oh, no.
God damn. The
Oh,
picture is
God.
a kid with no safety gear whatsoever, no mask or respiratory stuff, just pouring molten lead into a cast and playing with it. Gilbert, what the fuck, dude?
Oh my God. Okay, so this kind of goes deeper. Alfred Carlton Gilbert was an American inventor, athlete, magician, toy maker, and businessman. But he was best known for making the Erector set, which is like Metal Connects or something like that.
Oh yeah, Erector set's dope.
Yeah. God, he founded Misto Manufacturing, a manufacturer of magic sets. I think this guy might have just been a wizard or something. Like, he was just trying to hide in plain sight. Like, good God. Nicknamed the man who saved Christmas.
I think this dude might actually secretly hate children. Like, he's just sitting there like, alright, what else can we have these stupid fucking kids do?
Molten glass, uranium.
Crystal meth. Everybody loves crystal meth. Let's make a kit where you use your parents' oven and the appropriate chemicals to refine and then create crystal meth. And then the kids can sell it and make a little money to support their family.
Yeah. Wow. This guy also won gold in the pole vault in the 1908 London Olympics. He had a movie made about him. No, a biography. The man who changed how boys and toys were made.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, give him a little uranium. They're made different after that.
No, there was a movie in 2002. The Man Who Saved Christmas, the movie.
Saved Christmas.
The Man Who Saved Christmas.
Oh my God.
What?
Blow some glass, little Timmy.
TV movie about A.C. Oh my God, Jason Alexander plays A.C. Gilbert?
What?
George Costanza from Seinfeld. Jason Alexander, the actor, plays A.C. Gilbert
What
in that movie. Also starring Kelly Rowan, Ari Cohen, C. David Johnson, or Jane Eastwood. I'm knowing these people in decreasing extents. But freaking Jason Alexander was in the movie.
Wow, that is something special.
I don't want to watch that.
Apparently, Burger King had to recall their Pokeball toys from the Pokemon stuff back in 1999. Apparently, people choked, like the suction from the Pokeball gets stuck to their face, and a couple of kids died from that. I didn't know that one either.
Yeah.
I had those. I love those toys.
I think I still do somewhere.
Yeah, with the one with like that had the gold-plated Pokemon cards in them or something like that.
I think those might have been the later iteration. The one that's pictured, at least, is just one that has like one of the fat Pikachu models in it, like a cheap-looking
Hello,
plastic
Guardian.
Pokeball.
Yeah.
Welcome.
God. Oh,
I'm gonna watch this movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch the movie. I'm looking at things like that. They're just like dumb shit that kids do. And do you guys remember, like, I didn't do it as a kid, but I imagine if I had known about it, I would have. And maybe even talking about this is terrible. You know what? I'm not going to talk about this. We are not advocating here on Distractable anything that kids don't do stupid shit.
I feel like you have to talk about it now. What the hell is that?
No, it's probably everybody knows. It's where you like bend over and you like breathe really heavily.
Speak
and
to
then
me,
you
not
like
with the darkness.
take in a big
I
breath
want
and you
you
stand
to
up straight and you like squeeze as hard as you can. It'll like make you pass out or something like that. Like just like passing out is not a hard thing to do. Like because I sometimes squat down on the floor and then I'll stand up and I'm about to pass out. Like it's not a difficult thing to do. But it's just like why as a kid is it just like holy shit I can pass out? And it's like why is that like a desire?
I don't know. I guess because you see it happen in a movie or something, you're like, oh man, that's cool. I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
I guess I got to go through my stories, but real quick before I
let's
do,
bring this
there was
back
an
around.
actual
Bob,
flubber.
hang on, wait.
This is related to their toys.
You're out of line. You're out of line, man. You're out of line.
You're out of line.
Don't you dare
Hit me.
Don't
Take
you
some
talk
points.
back to me.
I want you to hurt me.
You don't even have any points.
Okay.
You have 0 points.
Take some away anyway.
And it could stay that way. It could stay that way.
I don't want any points. I don't want your points. They're tainted points. They're like Gilbert points.
Gilbert was a hero, an American hero. And we all know that.
A.C. Gilbert saved Christmas, you blasphemer.
Yeah, go blow some glass.
Anyway, Bob, 50 points. Good job.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome, man. You're welcome. All right, wait.
How do I get?
Nothing so far.
All right.
But, that depends on how good your story is.
Well, not all that great. So I guess the shorter one. So it was like the day before picture day. I was probably, I guess we were probably on the same age. So we were probably like 4th, 5th grade. And my brother was probably like 1st grade. And my mom had taken us out to get like haircuts, get cleaned up, made sure we had clothes for picture day because it was always a big thing because picture day meant that was pictures one in the yearbook, and then you got all those little pictures that you'd give family and the bigger ones you'd put in the family frames and stuff like that. And we got home. I think my mom was working on dinner. I was hanging out playing video games. It was like time to eat, and my mom calls us in like, "Hey guys, time to come grab your food." So I come in, start dipping up. She's dipping up, and we're like, "Huh? Where's Zach?" That's my brother, my little brother. And Zach, nothing. Huh? Maybe he went and like fell asleep. We go down the hallway toward his bedroom, and the bathroom door's closed. And we're like, "Oh, okay, maybe he's just using the restroom." And we hear like a. It was a noise we didn't really. We understood the cutting
Finch?
noise. The other one we didn't really know.
Anyone?
We're like, Zach? And he's
We're
like,
at the
"I'm
old
busy."
worm breeding
We're like,
facility.
What are you
Storm
doing in there?
presence seems to have grown
Nothing.
again.
Yo, I'm here. Sounds bad. Clearly exposed to darkness there. Exposed to breaking into the throne
Busy.
world devoid of
We're
light
like,
and all.
What are you doing in there?
Think you can
Nothing.
clear them out?
And
Makes
at
all
this
of
point,
our
my
lives
mom's
easier
opening
if
the
they're
door.
not
She knows
overrunning
he's
the
up to no
place.
good. And she opens the
Consider it
door,
taken
and
care
even
of.
though he just gotten a haircut, he's got a pair of scissors, and he has his hair cut all kinds of weird and uneven, and he's got a permanent marker that he's marking all over his face the day before picture day because I guess he decided he wanted to be a Native American for picture day. So he was trying to give himself some haircut. I don't know. He thought he was cutting his hair to look like I don't know what. And he was trying to give himself like facial tattoos with the permanent marker, which, you know, as a kid, what he did was just squiggle permanent marker all over his face.
How old was he?
First grade.
First grade, you said, right?
First grade. Okay, so really young. Yeah.
Very young. I wish I could, I mean, like, I don't have the pictures on me, but I wish I could show the pictures, because my mom had to shave his head, so I had to fully shave his head, and we couldn't quite get the permanent marker cut, so they were not great pictures. Yeah. That was a really minor story that I remembered.
Yeah.
I lived on a street, I guess it's around the same age, maybe a little bit older. I was probably more like 8 or 9, and I lived at like the beginning of my street, and then about, I don't know, 13 houses, 14 houses down was the end of the street where I had a friend who lived there. And we used to go to each other's houses all the time. We had like those Razor scooters we would ride around. And sometimes I'd pack up, like I had a PlayStation, I'd pack up like in a plastic bag, which probably wasn't very safe in hindsight, just ride it down to his house on my scooter. But neither one of us really had a great yard for treehouse. We had like one tree in our yard. And he had a bunch of trees, but they were all like, the branches were way too high for us to do anything with. But we really wanted a treehouse. And halfway between our houses, there was a house on the left that was hidden behind just a row of pine trees. And those pine trees were real easy to climb up into. Like, the branches were low, they were nice and thick, sturdy. We'd go climb in them sometimes and hang out. So we decided we were going to grab all of the big sticks and limbs from our yard and take them to our neighbor's yard and build a tree house. So, on our scooters, we made like, it had to have been 10 to 20 trips back and forth from our houses, just bringing our dead limbs to this neighbor's yard. And we started trying to construct a treehouse with no nails, no nothing. We just literally laid sticks across different branches and tried to build this treehouse. And eventually, I guess the neighbor caught on that something weird was going on, because he came over and we had just a mound of garbage in their yard. And all of these limbs laid across a couple branches that we were trying to stand on that were definitely not thick enough to be stood on. God. And the dude basically just comes out, screams at us to get the hell out of there. We never went to his yard again. Again, this isn't like a super high-end story. Just a stupid thing we did of trying to build a treehouse in a neighbor's yard. So, not a climactic ending other than getting yelled at, but in hindsight, trying to build a treehouse in a neighbor's yard, not our finest moment.
Bad. I mean, I've done tons of stuff in neighbors' yards that we weren't supposed to do. I mean, it was like this one, our neighborhood, one house had like a hill, like a good hill. And so we would always sneak over to that house, and we would go down that hill and everywhere we can. In the winter it was sliding, but in the summer that didn't stop us. So you know those red wagons? The red wagons that apparently everyone has.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we would just like take that up all the way to the top. We would take off the sides. You know, we didn't want those in the way. And we would ride that bad boy down the hill. And when I say hill, maybe this is kid brain, but I'm pretty sure it was like a 50-degree drop down this hill. Like, by the time we got down to the bottom, which was just trees, by the way, so we had to try to stop before we got to the trees, which we would hit. And so, like, we would just, like go down there all the time. And, oh, the reason we took down the sides is because when we wiped out, which we did, because that's the only way to stop it, it really hurt when you hit those wooden sides. So, like, our collarbones would, like across the red, we'd just be tossed out. Like, I imagine the neighbors looking out and seeing these kids just screaming down there, like, "Rah!" And then, like, they fling out, and I bet our limbs, like, just like cartwheeling through the air, and then we sit on the ground for a second, get back up, and then push the cart back up the hill to do it all over again. Like, it's just, oh, man. Being a kid being invulnerable is great.
I mean, that sounds fun. No, I'm just saying that sounds really fun. I mean, I'm into that.
We had a swimming pool a little bit later on, and I remember we decided that doing belly flop seemed like a good idea, but we thought we'd up the ante, and my mom had these, like, pool floats that sat just on the top of the water, to where if you were, like, laying on them, a layer of, like, water would go on your back, too, but you'd still, like, be floating. And we were like, those are perfect. And I remember we tried to belly flop on those a couple times, and it hurt like no fucking other. You jump off the diving board. Of course, you didn't just jump off the side. You had to go off the diving board and then belly flop onto a mat that had like just a thin layer of water on top, and then it was just a fucking mat. Ugh. That was another dumb one.
Speaking of swimming pools, so I had some I forget if it was family or friends of family in Michigan. We would go up for like, that's where most of my family was. So we'd go up to Michigan all the time. It was summer, for holidays. And we had this one house we would go to that had like one of those above ground circular pools.
Yeah.
Where it was like, wasn't that deep and it wasn't that large, you know? And inevitably, when enough kids got in the pool, that thing would happen where someone was like, let's all run in the same direction and turn it into a whirlpool. And like, I'm a big kid, but I was always like one of the younger kids in this group. So all the teenagers would start doing this, and I'm like, my head is above water, but I'm like standing on my toes, like barely above the water as it is. And I'm like down. The whirlpool is fun, right? There was always the same progression of the whirlpool for me as one of the smaller kids, where it starts and you're like, oh, I feel it. Like if you stop moving for a second, it still pulls you along, and you're like, yes, it's working. But all the teenagers are like, faster. Come on, like they're all like, you know, puberty roided out teenagers are like, I can go faster. They're going like full speed. There's always a turning point where like I'm running, my feet aren't touching the ground anymore. I'm kind of floating. Now I'm in the center spinning, and it goes from like being in a fun thing that everyone's doing to the teenagers making a toilet that's flushing the small children into the center. And all the small kids are like bouncing off each other in the middle, just like, oh, this is fun. Like, and you're like, you're probably not gonna drown, but like, as a kid, you're kind of like, oh, ooh, fun but scary. Ooh, mostly scary. Oh man. But like, I'm not gonna tell him to stop. That's not cool.
Yeah, I don't know why, I just remember this. Wade, were you there? Tyler was over in LA one time, and we were over at the pool. And then he was like, Tyler was like, hey, let's all run in a circle around the pool. And I was like, super cool, like, yeah. But the pool was way too fucking big to do this. It was like an apartment pool. And so we're just like, and there's only like 5 of us, so we're all like running in a circle around the pool, like, yeah, we're gonna get to work. It's gonna great. And I just remember, like, I'm having an out-of-body experience of this memory. Like, did we look like fucking idiots to all the other apartments that must have been looking down at us?
Absolutely.
100%.
Were you there?
I don't think I was there for that one, unfortunately.
Oh,
no.
God.
Thank God.
That's 100% one of those situations where it's like a TV show, right?
Yeah.
The one shot is you down in it, and it's like sloshing, and you guys are looking at each other, making eye contact, and running, and then cut to like the 3rd floor balcony. Someone's sitting there having a coffee, just looking, just like, wow, fucking idiots.
Wait, I might have been there.
Yeah, I thought you were there.
Oh God, this memory I thought I'd blocked out just came back of us running in a...
But I mean, like, I don't know why now I'm looking at it and thinking that it was dumb, because at the moment I remember being like, oh yeah, we're gonna make a whirlpool. But then like we tried for like 30 minutes or something, and it was like not moving the water in it.
Yeah, there were like 5 of us total in the pool, and it was a big, like, public pool, and we didn't do anything.
I know. And I'm like, I'm not knocking Tyler for the idea. We were all on board with it, but now I'm just like, God, were we idiots? Did we look dumb?
We needed like 13 more people for it to even be possible to start that thing.
100%. There were like 3 people who either watched you for a while or saw you at some point and walked away and were just like,
In the time it takes for me to make my morning coffee, I can take a checkout. Safer Internet Day is happening this month, which is a good reminder to make sure that your online account is safe, because staying safe on the internet is very important. Google helps to keep you safe online by making their products secure by default, and their security checkup helps you keep your Google account safe and secure. It's a step-by-step tool that walks you through personalized security tips, like alerting you if any of your saved passwords have been compromised. I don't know what I would do without it. For example, I would have no idea that my passwords were compromised unless Google told me. The checkup is so quick and easy that my coffee is done and I already completed mine. To make sure that you're being safe online, head to g.co/security checkup.
oh my god, these idiots.
If this is the place I'm thinking of, it was kind of like later in the evening or night too. So like,
Yeah, no, that was exactly, it.
man.
Oh, good time.
Fun
Good
stuff, man.
Fun
it's a nice pool.
Yeah, no, not bad.
Sounds like you really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we were 7 years old again.
Did you guys, so, Mark, you try and hurt yourself. I don't know what your deal is. Wait, did you ever have anything that happened when you were a kid that, like, you should have, like, broken your spine or something? Because I have this memory of, I think it was maybe my birthday. I don't know. I got this thing. It was essentially a boy's dollhouse, right? It's like a castle, but it like opened up in the back, and you had little figurines, and you could play in the castle, and like the drawbridge would go down. It was like a whole play set sort of deal. When I was a little kid, like I was maybe in 2nd or 3rd grade. So it was like, if I picked it up, it was taller than my head. It was a few feet tall, and I was a short, littleish kid. And I just got really excited. I was playing with it in like the family room where everyone's hanging out, and at some point, I'm just making a huge mess, being really loud and annoying, and at some point the adults are like, hey buddy, why don't you bring that downstairs?
We've cleared the place
Why
of
don't you clean
scorn,
that up?
Finch.
Why don't you bring that cool toy
That's
away from us?
Rad.
And
Thanks for
I
taking
just
care
was
of
like
that.
so
I'll,
hyped
monitor
about
in
this
case they
toy
return.
that I had that I
Don't
just
want
hooked
the
everything
throne
inside. I
world to
closed
go
up the castle thing and just picked it up and was like, okay, and just went to run downstairs. And I swear to God, I tripped 6 inches before even taking the first step down the stairs to the basement and went head over heels, tumbling around the castle and landed in a heap with it on top of me at the bottom. Just like, I didn't even move, and I was just like, am I dead? Is this, am I dead? And like my dad came down and was like, what the hell? Because all the adults heard was, you know, insane racket of child falling downstairs. But then he sees me, and it's the whole thing, not a scratch. I laid there for a minute, and then Dad looked at me, and he's like, I don't know, call the ambulance. And I stood up, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm fine. And just went and played. And like, if I did that as an adult, I would be fucking dead. If I fell down a half flight of stairs in my current physical condition, I would never be the same again. I would be ruined.
Oh man, I don't know why I just thought of this, but there was one time when I was a kid where I wasn't stupid. It was like the first time I made a cold, calculated decision. And I know that sounds weird, but I was like 9 or 10 or... No, I must have been like 10 or 11. Somewhere in that range, right at the cutoff. But my dad was dating this terrible person who I have no problem saying is a terrible, horrible person. Awful, terrible human being.
Wow, rough.
If we read the morning newspaper comics before them, they would... They discovered that we did, and then they burned the comics after they read it every time. That's how terrible this person was.
A weird
that
reaction.
We, children, if we read the morning comics before her, she started to burn them after she read them. That's how terrible this person is. And that is just, that's the most minor thing that she did. And so, one day, she's driving me to the grocery store, and I want this, like, toy, like, little dart gun. You know, it shoots little sticky darts.
Yeah, like a cheapo little suction cup pistol, right? Like,
a little pistol, got little suction cups things on them, and so I open it in the car, and I shoot it to the front windshield. I'm in the backseat, and this person does not like this very much. So they turn around and they say, like, you know, they yell at me, like, hey, don't do that! And so, like, I point the gun at her, and then she's looking at me, like, with this expression, like, and she says, you won't shoot me. And in my head, and again, I'm 10 years old at this time, I look inside of myself and I ask myself, am I prepared for all of the unbelievable consequences that this action is about to unleash upon me? And the answer that was tossed forward from the back of my mind was, yes, I am. And I pulled the trigger and shot her dead between the eyes. It didn't stick. I wanted it to stick on her forehead so badly, but it didn't. And then she was like...
I'm back.
So pissed. We were at a stoplight, and then she just fucking spins the car around in a U-turn for some reason. I guess to go back in the parking lot so that she could scream at me for a bit. But the whole time I was just like, that might be the first cold, calculated decision I've ever made. And I was in so much trouble. I was in so much trouble after that one.
Was it worth it?
Oh, God, yeah. I'd do it again now. I would get like a dart minigun right now. I would just blast it. I know that she's probably extremely old and or dead right now, but just like... Terrible person. Stole my dad's car.
Stole your dad's car? What the hell?
Yeah, after they broke up, because, you know, they were terrible. So, stole my dad's car.
God damn.
Just a really horrible human being. Anyway.
Well, you asked me if I did anything stupid where I should have, like, died or broken a bone. I don't know what age I was, so it might be a little bit older, but I do remember, I had a friend who had these, like, exercise balls. I think his mom, like, used exercise, like, balls to, like, you know, I don't know what the hell you do on them, because I don't really know much. I think you sit on them, and I don't fucking know. But we decided that the best way to use them was to go into their family room where they had, like, a coffee table and all this, like, wooden furniture with a lot of jagged edges and a brick fireplace, and to compete to see who could jump, land, and stand on them the longest and try to maintain their balance. And, I mean, just to cut to the chase, nothing terrible ever ended up happening. It almost did many times, because this is something we did on not one occasion, but probably like 5 to 10 occasions. But yeah, we got more and more brave the less anything bad ever happened, and it got to the point where we would do like sprinting starts, run, jump, trying to hit our head on the doorway, land on one of these balls, balance ourselves, and we'd always end with like bouncing off or going flying somewhere, and we'd hit our back against something like, oh, but you know, to be tough, it's like, oh, I'm fine, I can do it again right now. But in hindsight, looking at all of the sharp things, the glass, the bricks...
5 kinds of unusual players in Queen of the Empress. Which do you belong to? First, the one who refuses to be born in the...
Hindsight, looking at all of the sharp things, the glass, the bricks, just the thought of, you know, bouncing off and landing on our backs and things, like, probably should have broken something, probably should have cut something, needed stitches, been murdered. Don't recommend anyone doing that, but at the time it was really fun, and we had 0 consequences and never learned anything from our actions.
Sounds super fun.
Oh, God, you know, someone's got to get hurt. Someone's got to get hurt. By the way, speaking of getting hurt, guys, do you want to play lawn darts with this thing that I just found for some reason?
The lawn dart launcher?
It's a stinger dart launcher. It's a tactical, I love the word tactical in anything, tactical ballistic dart gun launcher blaster. No, stinger tactical ballistic dart gun launcher blaster.
Sure.
These images are terrifying.
It comes in 4 colors. They're beautiful.
Oh, those are safeties. Oh, those are long, slender darts.
Yeah, that is a murder dart. That is a 5-pronged murder dart or 5 murder darts.
There are 5 separate ones. It looks like a... Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I think we should play essentially laser tag, but with those. Everyone gets 1 on each wrist, so you get 10 shots total. Just release us into a warehouse filled with rusty, pointy stuff, and last one standing wins.
Just this whole website is just a nightmare.
Yeah, so what? This is bladeaddict.com.
This planet's
oh
crust.
man,
Wow.
look at all these things that look really good.
God, I want American flags on my tomahawks. That makes sense.
Oh, I love the sword section.
Oh, there's a
Perhaps
sword
they are
section.
conducting some sort
So
of
many
research.
good swords.
Oh my God.
Even their
God,
scientists are
I've never
bruised.
imagined myself as a sword guy. I just don't see the appeal. However, I do have bed knife, which is a sword I got from the Renaissance Festival. These are way too cheap. $35 for a sword?
They're probably like cast aluminum or something. Like, what, do these say what they are?
It says high carbon steel for $50. I don't believe you.
No way that's a 440 stainless steel blade for $35 for 2 23-inch, like, machetes.
Well, you know, the Middle Ages are over, so deflation is probably in effect.
But an 18-inch full-tang machete, the metal, for $25, the metal alone costs more than that.
I feel like we're doing a sponsorship for this company. These prices are so unbelievably low. If you use the code DISTRACTABLE, you might as well be getting it for free.
No, I think we were talking mad shit about this company.
Yeah.
I kind of want to buy one of these now just to see how garbage it is.
This feels like the Soldier store of knives. Like, this whole thing. I'm not gonna lie. Seems great. We haven't done a Soldier update on this show, but man, we should.
Look,
Wait, you had
it's
a Soldier
Vex Milk
update
waterfall.
recently, didn't you?
Can
There
we
was
stop and...
one
Aw.
like a few days ago. Let me see what it was. It was nothing too crazy. It wasn't like episode worthy for a whole episode, but
Dude,
Yeah.
this is the website where you get butterfly knife combs from. I always wondered about that. Did you guys have that friend when you were kids who had like a switchblade comb or like a butterfly knife comb where, you know, it looks like a knife, But then they're like, shoo, 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 and then it's just a comb for their hair. But every teacher ever would see that and be like, no, you do not bring that to school. I'm keeping that till the end of the day. And the student was always like, bitch.
Oh man, the comb. I fucking love the comb.
God, this is where you get that. This is that website where all those, I always wondered that, right? Because this didn't exist. Like, what do kids now have access to that we didn't have access to? Because there was the one place that I knew of as a kid where you could get, like, a knife. If you were just really desperate to have a knife, because kids like that for some reason, there was a local, like, game shop. It was right next to, like, a Chinese and Asian cultural shop where they had, like, you know, Lucky Cats and tea sets and just, like, a variety of things from, like, Pacific Asian sort of countries, and I didn't know anything about it. But in the back of that shop, they had one glass case with all these like pocket knives and switchblades and things, and that was the place where they didn't give a fuck how young you were. If you walked in and had the cash and you were like, that knife, here's the cash, the guy behind the counter was just like, all right, here's your knife. You're supposed to be like 18.
That guy don't care. Business is business, and business is good.
Yeah, $40 is $40, and he doesn't care. These knives are cheap from China knockoffs. He paid $5 each. Give me the cash.
Oh my god, this is beautiful. Anyway, sorry, what is the Soldier update?
Alright, so he spent $200,000 on a car, a Maybach truck.
Maybach is a pretty high-end brand.
And then started complaining about how ugly it was and how much he disliked it. So basically, he dropped $200,000 on a truck just to talk about how much it was a terrible truck and not worth buying. And I guess he had some kind of showdown, a versus battle, I don't know, with Bow Wow, which he almost got canceled because of something that happened with security. I was trying to catch up on all the news here and I was seeing if there was anything else. Every, day, there's a Soldier update of some kind. It's just a matter of digging deep to find the juicy bits in there.
He's always up to something. Man, if he did daily vlogs, he'd be great.
I mean, he invented Logan Paul. I don't know if you knew that.
He invented Logan Paul?
Oh, shit. That's crazy. Why did he do that?
Yeah, back in 2015, he took a photo with him, which made him the Logan Paul he is today, apparently.
My god.
He is the reason existence itself occurred.
Whoa, he is Logan Paul's true father.
Yeah.
Who knew? God, does that explain a lot, or does that make it more confusing?
I don't know. I've got 30 articles open to scan through different little tidbits about Soulja Boy just to get those sweet, juicy nuggets. Imagine, though, just spending $200,000 on something and be like, yeah, I kind of hate it.
Wait, I don't. Sorry, this is so weird. I don't want to click on this website, but the headline is Soulja Boy heavily dating Kim Kardashian.
Heavily dating?
Heavily dating me?
Wow.
What does heavily dating mean?
Oh my god.
Well, you gotta click to find out.
I don't want to, but get so many viruses. I'm clicking on it. Here I go. I'm going in.
Heavily dating.
Ah, it's fine. Oh, it's not. Oh, it's not fine. It's not fine. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. A lot of that. It looks weird. This website feels wrong. I'm linking to it for you guys. It seems safe.
Thanks.
I'll let you talk about it.
It looks safe.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But the font is weird, and the sizing is odd, and everything is wrong.
You're not convincing me to click on it.
No, click on it. It's fine.
Oh, whoa, what happened?
I know, it's weird.
This is like if an AI made a news website.
And the only way to reach it is down past those giant pointy drill bits.
Through Ben. Single reason.
Good.
Must certainly face many proposals from men. Among the approaches identified, that of Soulja Boy is undoubtedly the most offbeat to date. Soulja Boy trolls again. I invented Logan Paul. I don't know. I don't know. Dredging quite heavily the future ex. Dredging quite heavily the future ex-wife of Kanye West.
Wow, maybe that means something I don't know what it means, but I don't think any person should dredge another person. It doesn't sound good. I have to say, I didn't know Kim Ye had broken up.
I didn't know.
Is that real?
Yeah, I think so.
This is a brand of news I don't dive into all that often, but when I do, I always feel like I'm in over my head.
Alright.
How'd we go from kid accidents to Soulja Boy?
I don't know, man.
That is the essence of Distractable, my friend, and I will award points for getting us there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, you're hosting?
I'm posting.
You guys should have a versus battle.
Okay, it's time to tally the points because this episode is running a little long. This week's episode, I'm going to award points based on how distracted we got and how many tangents we walked upon. Bob, I know that we went on several tangents, and we got to the interesting territory of Alfred Gilbert and discovering about his life and the man who stole Christmas and the movie thereof, or the man who didn't steal, who saved Christmas.
P.C. Critchford, the man who stole Christmas.
I want to add that I brought up the 2 Gilbert products.
Yeah, you brought up one of the Gilbert products,
2.
glass blowing. I think the other one,
Uranium.
no, the chemistry, no, that was Bob, was it not?
No.
I brought up the lead smelting one.
Right, the lead
You
Let's
brought
hope
up
this thing
the
launches in the right
radioactive one.
direction.
Okay, so
It's
I will
going
give
to be
credit
a
for
short
Wade
trip.
on that one. That is a Wade credit.
Thank
So
you.
it's a point for each set. That's 2 points. I'm wiping the board clean in points. Everyone has 0 points.
Oh.
Wade, 2 points for that. Getting to Alfred Gilbert is another point. Bob, we went on many tangents there. I discovered the dart gun thing, and there was several other that I'm going to give you 1 point for the... No, you keep your point for the first story and the title. The story
I'm so
was
lost
good.
on these points.
No, let him keep going. He's getting there.
I'm getting there. So, Bob, you get a point for the first story. You get a point for the story itself because it led to talking about toys instead of kids just being dumb, which opened up a lot of things. Wade still gets those 3 points. Bob, you get another point because of somehow something you said got me to the dart blaster gun. Lawn darts, that was it.
Yep,
lawn darts for the dart. Soldier Update gets a point. Bob, your stories were more substantial and had conclusions, so I'm giving you 2 points.
All right.
So it's
I
4-2.
agree. What I've heard.
Bob's a winner.
I disagree with that part, but I agree with the rest.
I agree with Mark's math.
I'm grading purely on tangents alone, and I think we went on more tangents with Bob.
If anybody on the subreddit can help us calculate the math that we just heard, let us know.
I'm going to come up with a nice grading system for, number of tangents. For each, branch off, and either one of you can do it, I'm going to actually come up with a better grading system that's, for every branch, it's a point. As farther away we get is, total distance traveled.
It's like a pyramid scheme of podcasting.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually going to need a notebook and be like, okay, one branch.
Wait, how much money did we earn then from the scheme?
Oh, you didn't earn any.
Oh. No, yeah, no.
Am I the schemed?
No.
Yeah, you're at the bottom.
Oh.
You're the hypotenuse. You lose.
Yeah, sorry, man. This is the way it goes.
I thought pyramid schemes were like equilateral triangle pyramids.
Oh, it's not equal.
No.
Oh.
All right. Well, congratulations to Bob on your big win.
Thank you.
Everybody at home can...
That was just me doing Wade's voice. It's okay.
That was really impressive. Extra point for that. I was totally convinced.
It sounded just like him, right?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Wow.
So I guess Wade don't even show up next week because Bob can take your spot and do both parts.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm going on vacation. Get some lawn darts and have a party.
You can find us here every Monday on your favorite podcast platform. Subscribe, join, follow, or whatever it is to keep up with these, or just show up on Monday at midnight when these release. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening to us. Hope you had a wonderful drive or whatever you're doing at work. Hope we were able to entertain you for a little bit longer. And if you don't follow this podcast, then we will come find you. We'll subject you to all the horrors that we experienced as a child.
I didn't have many. Podcast out!
Yeah, Mark, you forgot the outro, damn.
Right, I did.
Is that an extra point? Do I win then?
No, I did my Wade impression. That was mine.
Oh, yeah, that was good. It's a little gravelly.
Good, right?
Man, you guys really don't need me. I've been,
That's really
replaced.
Are you even real?
I don't need to be anymore.
No, that was me. Oh, don't need to be anymore. Sorry. Me again.
I don't think it works as well as you actually thought. I don't need you anymore.
All right, fine. Podcast out.
It's switching guns.
To be safer online, take your own security checkup at g.com.
Asking what will pop stars do is how you get your That's my jam. From Sunday to Sunday. So, what will
It's
pop
not
stars
getting
do
up
here?
from that.
Yeah, that
Follow?
feels right.
We're good.
Crazy good.
Good evening,
Hey,
gentle
hey,
listener,
Tailspin.
and welcome to
Yes,
the
friendly
Distractable
ghost?
with our production, with your host,
We did it.
Rushing Bob,
We did a
Meritorious
great
Mark,
job.
and Wordy
Admit it.
Wade. This week, the chatty
Technically,
chums
the
choose to
captain
chuck
did.
chunky childish
Live in
chocolate
his
chasers
backpack.
onto the most redoubtable of confectionery
Switch off.
Start saying that fast. Yes, it's time for Beware the Candy Uncle. Please prepare thy vomitorium and enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to Distractable, the podcast where we talk about a bunch of nonsense and act like we're smarter than we really are. My name is Mark and I am your host, joined by Bob.
Hello.
And Wade.
Hi.
Hi guys, how you doing?
We're good. Good. We're good. Yeah.
And these goods seem forced.
Well, they are. What? I'm great. Stuff is going just so well for me over here. What do you... Why would you question that?
I don't know, something about the tone of your voice, but I'll believe you. Wade, why are you not good?
Well, the guy you sent over to force me to say I'm good. Other than that, I was fine before.
Okay, alright. So you're saying that my gift was unnecessary?
Yeah. Your gift is eating all of our food.
I sent you the gift of happiness.
Yeah.
The guy that tells you to be happy.
Yeah.
Is it working? I can send more guys.
No, that's unnecessary.
They've got a happy cattle prod package that I could send over. That might be nice.
No.
I'll do it. Don't even say anything.
No,
forget I said it. It'll be a surprise.
Did you see, Mark? They're running a special right now on the guy who makes you happy by smashing in all the windows in your car with a crowbar until you're happy.
Wow. That sounds like good service. I'll get that for you too, Wade. Whenever you get a new car, that guy is gonna show up.
Such a value.
So if I don't get a new car...
No balls, you won't.
Yeah, you won't.
Well, I've gone almost a full year now without one.
Does your new door have windows in it?
Oh, it does.
Great. That's great. That's great.
You know that because I came and looked at it. I didn't see you or anything. I just looked at your house.
Oh, this is a very comfortable start to this episode.
We're just worried about you, man.
Yeah, we're worried. I'll send a worry guy over to check in on you.
Oh,
he's got the worry pepper spray, you know. It'll really make your troubles go away. You won't worry about whatever you were worrying about a moment ago. Trust me.
He is pretty big, though, so no twin beds, okay? Give him a nice, comfortable place.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna move.
They'll find you. Anyway, I have an interesting topic of discussion today that kind of relates to something that we discussed on a previous episode. I had a thought. Oh, by the way, everyone listening, I'm the judge. They contribute and I assign points. That's how this podcast works.
They know how it works.
Hopefully they know how it works. I hate to think if this is people's first introduction to this podcast, but it may be.
I know this happens with things. You know, you get used to it. It becomes regular. But I remember the first episodes, we were like, welcome to Distractable. This is a podcast.
Yeah.
And now we're just like, just tell the story.
Welcome to the stream.
Go.
All right, fine, I will. I had a thought the other night. It was just, you know, I have these thoughts on occasion. I was wondering what the best method would be to prevent a kid from eating too much candy, right? You ever think about this? Kids, they like candy. They can't stop eating it. So what if you constructed a reality that would plant a formative memory in their mind? This is just some random kid, you know, it doesn't really matter. But it would plant a formative memory in their mind that would make it so they're kind of inceptioned to never want to eat candy again, right? Okay, you following?
Yep.
So I thought, you tell a kid that he can have one piece of candy a day, and if he has any more than that, something bad will happen. You don't say what it is, you just tell him that something bad will happen, right? So of course, that's not enough to put fear into the child. You have to go a step further. So what you'll do is you'll, you know, give a piece of candy every day, whatever, and then you'll create a situation where there is an excess of candy available to them. You know, if that original idea wasn't enough, you would create a situation where they would be tempted to have more candy. I kind of thought of this because of that experiment with the marshmallow, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you get two later, but you know, more punishing. So you create a situation where it's like a piece of chocolate, and if they have 2 pieces of chocolate in a day or more,
you kill their favorite family member.
Pretty much, but not quite. More subtle, right? So you create a situation where they're tempted to have more chocolate, and you watch them, and you have like a secret camera so you know exactly when they did. And as soon as they do, the next time you see them, you look at them and go like, oh my god, what's wrong with you? At this point, you've removed all the mirrors from the house, because that way they can't see themselves.
Obviously.
You like suddenly just like stopping your tracks. You're like, oh my god, what's wrong with your face? And then like they would start panicking and be like, what's wrong with my face? And you're like, oh my god, did you have another piece of chocolate? Did you have another piece? And then as they're stammering there, you don't even give them a chance. You drag them up and like, you gotta lay down now. You gotta lay down quick. And then you get your friend who you assigned to pretend to be a doctor, and you go to the other room before you get them to come over. You go to the other room, you call your friend, and you tell him, like, yeah, oh, you gotta come quick. Yeah, 2 pieces of chocolate, maybe more, I don't know. And then you start real panic. You tell them to not move from wherever they are. If they're in a bed, on the couch, you have them lay down. Your friend comes in, wheels all this big, beeping, booping, undulating medical equipment, and then you attach it to the child. And then you have a whole team surrounding them, running a bunch of tests, like poking them with a stick, you know, like pretend syringes, all these fake hookups and stuff like that. And then you tell them that if they don't make it, like, you love them or something. I don't know whose kid this is. But you create this entire construction.
You're doing this to someone else's kid?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like any kid, whatever. If you're
That's
hired
the premise. He started with that. It doesn't have to be your kid.
Exactly. It doesn't have to.
Oh, all right. Well, I feel like there might be more lawsuits in that case, but maybe
There's not going to be
ahead.
any lawsuits, okay? The statute of limitations will pass by the time they realize what actually happened. So you you get all this stuff, and then you create this incredible drama where you start dropping the temperature in the house, but you have trained yourself by taking ice baths every day, and all the other people that are a part of this, you've been taking ice baths every day, so a little cold doesn't bother you, but the child will feel very cold. And then, you know, you'll have your heart monitor that's a pre-programmed video to start going down and down, and like they'll get colder and colder, and then like at the last minute you'll pull out like the biggest, meanest syringe of all, and it's like attached to like a cattle prod, so that when you poke them with it, it'll hurt, and then they'll think that like that'll be the moment that everything stabilizes, you know. Maybe you'll even like lower the oxygen in the room so that you've done high altitude training so that you can endure lower oxygen environments, but the child will start to get a little woozy, and then as soon as you do, you bring the temperature back up, you bring the oxygen back up, and then all the beep boops start calming down, because there was like red alarms going off too. There was like bwomp, bwomp, like super red alarms, and strobe lights will be hitting, and then everything will calm down, and then you'll tell the child, like, that was so close. Why did you eat that piece of chocolate? I told you something bad would happen. You can have one, but not more than one. And then for the rest of their life, they will never eat another.
The Fallen have tracked us to Nessus.
Not more than one.
They have
And
the Exodus
so,
Black on lockdown and damaged fail-safe systems in their raid. Both are key assets to our endeavors here.
The reason
Operation
I say this
Piccolo
is
has
because
begun.
I kind of want to do a Lies from Our Parents
Piccolo?
Part 2, but
Really?
to take it to
We know
another
what to call
level.
it that.
I want to
We'll give
hear
it a better
your
name.
constructed realities
Later.
of how you would
I'm sorry
instill
to
the fear
inconvenience
of
you,
God
Captain.
into a child.
Thank you.
For anything.
I have marked
like, you
a trail
know,
of armed
eating a piece of
pulses the
chocolate,
Fallen
you know,
left
not
behind.
doing their homework, you know, like not doing their chores, whatever, something like that. I want to hear how you guys would discipline, the right word.
Traumatized?
And I don't think so. I think educate.
One more set of
Educate.
coordinates.
Less
Fallen can't be
formative
far.
memories. This building.
Redesign.
For legal reasons, we would never do this. For anecdotal reasons, I'm excited for this.
Cognitively differ.
Yeah.
Cognitive behavioral science, that's a big thing.
I think this is like, you know, a level of inception. You're creating like the most base level of memory. You're accessing their subconscious. You're rooting through their fear of this idea of they will remember this for the rest of their
Let's see. Okay, the Fallen went that way.
Zavala, Cade unit. If I could have a word with the captain in private.
It's Vanguard policy to keep in contact at all times.
I killed the feed cap. Sorry. Too many distractions. The Fallen are tearing up the ship, and you know what? It really hurts.
careful while I'm gone. This webbing on the floor looks like some kind of arc conductor. Probably best to keep arc energy away. Barrier down, and I'm alive. The only gifts I ever asked for.
My crew used to give me gifts, but they've been dead for 500 years.
Let's, see what those darn Fallen are up to, huh? Failsafe, the path opened up again. I've locked onto a second array of pulses. Let's grab them.
Hello? Everything okay? Failsafe, how you holding up, buddy?
We're fine. Failsafe was just being fidgety.
I hid from the Vex for centuries. You blew my cover. Now the Fallen are inside my ship, tearing it apart. Cade Unit, Ghost, kindly delete yourselves.
How do you think I'm doing?
Ghost, how you holding up, buddy?
Lights are out. Where did they divert all the power to? Did you hear that? I don't think we're alone.
Hello? Fire Team Piccolo, can you hear me? Still nothing. All right. We have no choice. Operation Oboe has begun.
Shouldn't we tell him we're fine?
This scorn mess, don't you think?
Ikora, the device was some sort of super weapon. The energy I detected within was extremely volatile, way beyond expected levels.
The Scorn have an insatiable appetite for destruction, clearly fed by the Witness.
Then it's our job to starve them, every chance we get. Thanks, Ikora.
Yo, I just got some Hive intel that says you're gonna be swarmed by Scorn any minute now. Just keep them away from the wellspring.
The Scorn are ravenous for the wellspring. We'd better hold our ground. Scorn aren't even close to being done with us. Let's get the jump on them. It's working. Keep shooting those cruxes. Powerful scorn incoming. Here he goes. Go, go, go! Scorn have been dealt with.
Until next time. Good work, Guardian.
Yo.